Hey guys, this is Brett. Today we're going to be trying to figure out the psychology of Artifact. And what I mean by that is we're going to try to figure out why so many people are leaving this game. Is it because of the monetization? Maybe, but we're going to look specifically at the gameplay today. So I'm going to go through a game and we're going to look at how I feel during all the plays, basically. So, if I feel like I deserved something that happened that was good, I'll say that. Or maybe if something random happens that's in our favor, we'll try to talk through that. But I think especially when you lose in this game, it can feel like everything's just kind of going against you. It feels like maybe there wasn't a... I mean, a lot of the times you look back when you lose and you're like, yeah, I could have done this or that. But there's no way to know that's the right play at the time because you don't know what cards your opponent has. That's the main thing. A lot of the times you'll be playing, let's say you're playing against blue and you have a big creep to play and you're like, this is great unless they have Annihilation. And then they have Annihilation. You're like, well, I should have played around Annihilation. Well, maybe you should have, but maybe if you didn't play that big creep, they just win anyway. I don't think playing around Annihilation is always the right play. Same with, other things. Maybe you have Chen, like I have Chen. Maybe I use his Holy Persuasion to steal an enemy creep, and then they play a bigger creep. And I'm like, well, I guess I should have waited, but you don't know. You don't know what they're going to play always, so we're going to see how it goes. This is not scripted. And this is just, I like this game. So this is not a criticism of the game. This is just kind of an investigation into maybe why people are frustrated with this game. Alright, so right off the bat, the first thing that happens is it shows us our opponent's heroes. And the first thing that goes through our minds is, well, he has Bristle and Lycan. That's pretty lucky drafting for him. Lycan, I think, is very good. Of course, Timber and 2 Debbies, that's not so great, but yeah, I feel like that's a pretty decent draft. We're going to go ahead and drop an Untested Grunt. And right now, in our head, we're thinking, I hope we get a right arrow. So this game is all about hoping. When we get a straight arrow, it's fine. But we would have rather gotten a right arrow. Over here, we're thinking to ourselves, thank God we don't get matched up against Bristleback, because he would kill us eventually and get that armor, and there's no counterplay. So that's good. And then over here, we're thinking, I wish we got matched up against Debbie, because we would kill her with Timber. And we also have nothing to play. So she's doing 9 damage to the tower, which is really good when a Debbie can do 9 damage to a tower right off the bat. Debbie's just such a strong tower attacker. Getting that +2 damage. Alright, now we're thinking, wow, we're lucky. We got 2 creeps on the right. What else are we thinking? I feel like this is a very lucky spawn for us. He's probably going to go middle, I would think. We're going to go ahead and go right. He might go right. No, he's going to go middle. Alright, he got 2 right arrows, so our Farven is going to die. That's unlucky. So right now we're thinking, wow, unlucky. Okay. Great. Or we drew some cards that can save Farven, so now we're thinking lucky. Alright. This game is all about, oh, I got lucky. Oh, I got unlucky. Alright, he might have a Savage Wolf, so if we play an Oglati, he can't play his Savage Wolf for basically 2 more turns. So we're just going to go ahead and play it. We can't risk passing here because, yeah, so he might be holding on to a Savage Wolf. It's really, I think it's bad for him. So now we think maybe there was a bad play there for him. Alright, Defensive Bloom's pretty good, especially if we land one here and here. So if we play it, we're keeping our fingers crossed. Or we could play Soul Spring and guarantee that we stay alive. So we're just going to play that. So right there, we could have had a play where we would be keeping our fingers crossed, but instead we decided to just go with the safe play. He is pushing a ton of damage on lane 2. We have nothing to play here, but we are lucky that his Debbie got blocked this time. We don't want 9 damage going through our tower for free every time. We do have some creeps that can block the Debbie. Health would be nice. Go ahead and buy this. That's pretty good. We'll take that. Let's see. Well, we don't want to put anyone in lane 1, so we're going to go ahead and go lane 3. Especially because Debbie, again, is unblocked, which is unlucky for us. Luckily, our health items are going to be able to help us. This is a bad arrow for us. We don't want to be attacking Timber because he gets extra armor. Okay, we're winning lane 1, which is great. Again, another bad arrow there, and we have nothing we can do. So we're basically just giving up lane 2 now. He gets a real bad arrow, though. Okay, so he played around it. Is that luck that he had pick a fight? A little bit. Alright, so go ahead and put the Traveler's Cloak on here. We could intimidate the Debbie away. It's actually not a bad choice. Actually, you know, I think we're going to save that for next turn. We're going to defensive bloom here so we can arm the Rebellion next time. Go ahead and put the armor on Chen also. Alright, so that feels like a good play to us. That doesn't feel... Oh, and now we're lucky. This Arm the Rebellion is going to be huge. Alright, where do we put our Sorlikon? We don't want to just put her in front of the Timber. I think we'll put her lane 3. Lane 3 is going to be massive. So he's probably going to drop... Oh, he's going to go lane 1. That's interesting. So Primal Roar is going to be big for us. Mr. Avernus is fine. Actually, it's like a little late to draw it. Alright, so we're going to have a huge Primal Roar next turn.
The jungle protects its own.
So we need something to be blocking us next turn, so... This... Oh, there's nothing we could do in lane 2. He wants to TP out, so if he has a TP, that would be lucky for him. But he doesn't, so it's lucky for us. I don't think he's going to go Ancient here, to be honest. And then this lane, we just win. We probably don't even need to... At this point, we don't need to play Arm the Rebellion. It would be a really good Arm the Rebellion, but it's kind of unnecessary. So instead, we're going to play Mist of Avernus on lane 1, probably. We need to win lane 1, so... We're fine losing Chen here. In fact, I think we want to lose Chen. Stonehall Cloak's great. We would have loved to get some creeps in lane 1, but it's really good that he's getting a creep in lane 1, though. Alright, so he has initiative, which is real bad for us, but there was nothing we could do about it. There's a couple cards that would be bad for us, like enough magic, for instance.
The Prowlers lend their aid.
Good champion of the Ancient. Gets +4 attack, so it's a 6. I think we got to Primal Roar here. And we have to decide the Stonehall Cloak. Do we want it on...
Interesting.
Who do we want it on?
This will get me through the battle.
Okay. So next turn we plop Chen down. We can steal his wolf, which is great. So I think we're going to win this game. And it feels like we're winning this game because he misplayed a bit. He didn't play around our Chen. He could have Whirling Death. It doesn't really do much, though.
You got a size.
I guess we need initiative. He could have another Whirling Death. This creep is amazing, by the way. Super, super lucky creep. But again, like, he probably feels like really crappy about that. Oh, Spring the Trap. That's really unfortunate for us. Alright, well, our Chen coming down is huge, though.
This'll come in.
Okay, and those phase boots are huge for him. Alright, we have to have initiative, so we're just gonna let our Sorlicon die here. The assault ladders don't really... I mean, they would have been able to maybe threaten Ancient on lane 3, but I don't think we have time to do that. We just need the guaranteed... the guaranteed health potion to start in case he has Whirling Death. He could have enough magic. That would be bad. I wanted to pause the stream right here because this hero deployment is actually really, really important and really complicated. He probably should have dropped his Debbie in lane 2 because it basically guarantees he wins if I don't drop my Chen in lane 2. And I probably should have dropped my Chen in lane 2 because it guarantees basically that he doesn't have enough to do the Ancient this turn. The risk for him of dropping Debbie in lane 2 is that I also drop my Chen in lane 2 to prevent Ancient. And I play Savage Roar in lane 1 to get rid of the Timber. And then next turn I drop like a Thunderhide, which isn't completely unrealistic. So looking back, I definitely should have dropped Chen in lane 2 here. But if I drop Chen in lane 2 and he drops Debbie in lane 1, he probably is going to win because he probably will just kill lane 1 or he'll eventually kill the Ancient anyway, and my Chen really isn't contributing anything to lane 2. So I kind of had to drop Chen in lane 1. Because if I don't win lane 1, I lose the game, and I needed him there because I don't have Thunderhide pack. But he doesn't know that. So this is kind of a guessing game for both of us. We both took calculated risks here. We both probably should have dropped our heroes in lane 2, but we decided to drop them in lane 1. But again, this is the kind of thing where hindsight is 2020. I still feel like it was a pretty bad misplay on my part, not dropping Chen in lane 2. But we'll see how it plays out. Alright, we have to decide which creep we want here. Probably the wolf. We're going to start off with the health bot. Champion of the Ancients are also very good. Remember, anytime we play a green card, okay, he could have like a ping. He could have a no accident. That would kill our Farven here. So we could Hand of God here. So this actually feels like some important choices, which is a good thing.
Remaining.
I think we got a Hand of God.
And find salvation.
We can't really afford to drop the Champion of the Ancient yet. Alright, so we could steal... I think the wolf is the better steal. Alright, so 15 health left to go. We basically have to win next turn, though. So we're going to have to intimidate someone away to push some damage. Actually, I don't think we can win this. He could have something like the Oath, which would just make him win, too. So right now we just have our fingers crossed. And we're just hoping that he doesn't have enough stuff to push. He could have a Disciple of Nevermore that would end the game. I mean... if he had one of those things, what could we have possibly done to play around it? I really don't know. Basically, this game just comes down to luck. Creeps in lane 1 would be great, because we want our Sorlikon to be across from the tower, and then we can just play enough magic to win. So again, we just have our fingers crossed. We want creeps in lane, and that's perfect. We probably win off of that. Maybe, maybe. Not quite, actually. Very close, though. So, 1 damage off. We probably just play... Alright. Actually, Mist of Avernus, we just win off of that. So this is what I'm talking about. We had the perfect cards. This feels so lucky to us, because if he had a Gloaty, or if he had Disciple of Nevermore, or if he had the Oath, any of those would have won him the game in lane 2. But he didn't have any of those, so we win the game. So, let's review. He had a couple really lucky things happen in lane 2. Like, he got those phase boots off, which let him swap the Debbie when she was about to die. And he had some good cards to get me out of lane 2. Like, he had a perfect no accident to kill my Chen before I could do anything. And then I just had to hope that he couldn't finish me off in lane 2, and it ended up working out for me. So I took a calculated risk by abandoning lane 2, and it ended up winning me the game. Was that a perfect play? I mean, if I had lost that game because he played Disciple, would I be looking back and thinking, wow, I misplayed. I should have committed more to lane 2. That probably would be my thought process if I had lost there. But if I committed more to lane 2, I probably still would have lost. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, though. He probably feels like, oh, I didn't draw the right cards. He had enough magic and Mist of Avernus, so he's lucky. I don't know. I don't know what the takeaway from this is. Obviously, RNG plays a heavy, heavy role in this game. And it's not just card draw, which is the RNG that exists in every card game. It's the creep spawns are the biggest thing, in my opinion. It's not the arrows. It's not the card draw. The card draw is huge, but card draw is something you expect in card games. It's like, okay, he had X card, he won, fine. I will say it's exaggerated a bit in Artifact because the games take so long. So, like, if he draws a Disciple of Nevermore at the end there and plays it, I'm like, it's not just like in Hearthstone when someone plays Kelesith on curve and you're like, well, I lose. It's a 5-minute game, who cares? It's like, this game lasted like 10, 15 minutes. To lose to a card draw, that would feel a lot worse than in Hearthstone. But at least with card draw, it's something expected. But the creep spawns, I got 2 creep spawns at the end there that literally won me the game. Should I feel proud of that victory? I didn't outplay my opponent. Well, it's hard to tell who outplayed who. I won, but what's the takeaway from this, guys? I don't know. I'll leave it up to you to decide. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this leads to some interesting discussion. But this was basically my thought process going through a game. And a lot, I feel like when I go back and watch it, it's going to be a lot of, oh, well, this was pretty lucky. Oh, well, that wasn't very lucky. And that's how it feels to play. For like 20 minutes at a time, you're like, oh, that was pretty lucky. Oh, that's not that lucky. There were times in that game when I felt like I had hard decisions to make. Like where to put the Mist of Avernus. Maybe I could have made a push for his Ancient if I played the Mist of Avernus on lane 3 and played the Assault Ladders on lane 3 instead of playing for Initiative on lane 1. I felt like that was kind of a tough choice. But I feel like the tough choices are outweighed by, please let my creeps go to this lane. You know? Please let my melee creep spawn in front of his Debbie. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's it's not scripted, so it's not like perfect. It's not a perfect example of, oh, this was the tiltiest game I've ever had. I actually won the game, but I feel like I just as easily could have lost that game. Disciple of Nevermore is a common, so it's not like it would have been super surprising if he dropped it on me. Honestly, I feel very, very lucky. And the 2 melee creeps spawning on lane 1 at the end, I feel so lucky that I won that game. It doesn't feel like a good victory at all. I don't have a feeling like I played really well. I deserve that win. It feels like I spent 20 minutes rolling dice and I ended up on top. This is just my honest... I'm trying to be critical of this game, okay? So I actually really like the game, but I really want to know why people are no longer playing the game. And I think a lot of people on the subreddit approach this game very defensively. Like, this game is perfect. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay. The only problem is maybe the monetization, but the gameplay is super solid, so Anyone that's a hater must be bad at the game. I mean, I have a 66% win rate. I'm not bad at the game. I'm just let's take a clear look at this game, and let's try to figure out why people are not enjoying this game, why people are dropping out. All right, I'm going to stop rambling. I feel like I've been rambling. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a great day. Brett out.